So year 2020, pandemic happened. I was just bored out of my mind, to be very honest. I was just about to go on a trip to Houston with the ladies. It automatically got canceled, of course, due to COVID. So I had just came through like a wonderful experience in life where I finally had made the complete final decision. Well, excuse me, I was in the process of making the complete final decision to leave my daughter's father, at the time, my current boyfriend, well, my boyfriend at the time, and just leave him alone. Like, I had, we moved apart. I put him out, and I was just ready to move on. I had got a new place with my daughter, a brand new car, a new promotion, new wardrobe. I had to look the part even more for my position. So I went shopping. Apple Watch. I had bought me an Apple Watch. Like, I was living life. Like, I was such on a high cloud, just a natural one. Just because I was just so blessed. Like, I could not have asked for anything better at that time in my life. So that happens. Then pandemic. So I'm at home every day, working from home. If I'm not mistaken, they were closing the daycare at the time for a few days at a time, but eventually they opened it back up and they said, okay, you guys can bring them, but it's pull in, drop off, can't get out the car or whatever. So that was a blessing. So I was able to focus while I was working. Well, like I said, a neighbor, and mind you, I had met a couple other people, while I was out on, while we were on lockdown at the time in the area and just in general. So, because don't ever get it twisted. Listen, let me tell you. So this is what I have to add and insert. I'm a player, okay? And if you don't know what that means, basically it's just like, at the time I was completely single. I've never been married, never been divorced. And I love men. Like, I love men. Like, listen, when I tell you I could watch men all day and just watch and just admire them, just the different physiques, the different colors, the different, if I can hear them talk, like, yes, let me hear you talk, like, I'm interested, So anywho, so yeah, and best believe at the time I was involved, or just, I wouldn't even say dating, I was talking to a few different men at the time. And that's my prerogative. I was a single woman, okay? During the lockdown, perfect timing, I guess, right? But anywho, so I had my men of interest at the time, but I could look, And so anywho, the guy, and I would always hear him too, like when he comes in, the music, this particular neighbor, the music was loud from his truck. He was loud, if you feel me. And just, it was hard to miss the person or miss anybody the way my house was set up. I could see everybody from my window. Nothing more, nothing less. If I was interested, I would be very honest. I have had neighbors that I was interested in, like, want to be involved with in some type of way, okay? You can use your imagination, because there's more than just like, oh, I want him to be my boyfriend, or oh, I just want to sit under him and chill with him and stuff like that, okay? We all are adults here, hopefully. One day, I'm opening my door. I was raised in a it was not a suburban area at all. So, and just in general, I was always raised to be cautious, to always watch your surroundings, never trust anybody, never give somebody the one up on you regardless, right? So one day I'm going home, and he again lives, he lived catty corner away from me. So right in front of me was a Caucasian lady, lived right, across from me. Next to me was a a brown man, my complexion, and then across from him was this particular neighbor. Just so happened to go, I think we kind of met up because there was two ways. Okay, there's two ways to come to our home, meaning in our homes is the us for me, her, neighbor, and other neighbor. This is the talkative one, but anywho, and then above them or above us all was two other homes. Okay, so you could come up either way because yeah, there was a walkway this way, walkway this way. So anywho, I think if I'm not mistaken, we came up separate stairs, but kind of met, if that makes sense. And we spoke because we see each other all the time. Mind you, like me and him were really the only ones who would come outside. Like everybody else, like you lucky if you see them coming or going. You may hear them, but then when you look outside, they're gone. And so again, mind you, it's the pandemic. I'm living life. I'm on a high, so like let me outside. Like I want to go outside. So I would literally open my door and be like, neighbors, like where is everybody? Like why y'all not outside? Like y'all not bored? Like I was so serious. Like how could you be inside all day, right? So anywho, so we met. And we our normal thing, hey, how you doing? I'm good, how you doing? Good. That's the end of the conversation. Well, this time he was like, I'm going into my home. He's going into his home, but he opened his door. He unlocked it and he opened it. And it's like halfway open, but I could see pretty much inside the whole house. And he's like, hey, do you have a lighter? And I'm like, no, I don't smoke. And he's like, oh, okay, well, if you ever need something or know somebody who does, let me know. My homeboy has it, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. And just, I asked him, I was like, what I just do, just knock or whatever. He's like, yeah, it's cool. I'm like, okay, cool. So I kind of wait for him to go inside because I don't know him. We never exchanged names. Never said again more than, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And so I waited till he went inside. I kind of pretended like, whatever. And so as I see him going in, I'm like, okay, let me hurry up and go in and close my door, But, honestly, I wasn't scared, but I was cautious. Like, I did not know this person at all, right? So, and again, I don't mind to see a nice looking person, right? Like, who doesn't like that? I'm sure I know men love to look at pretty women. So, anywho, so that's that. So, fast forward or what have you, or just maybe even rewind, but nonetheless, another incident where we talked a little more was when, again, pandemic, I'm bored. Let me go exercise. I got the time. I have nothing but time. So I went outside. I would jog around the apartment complex or whatever. And at the time of me leaving, he was not outside. But as I'm coming back up, I see him outside smoking a cigarette. For the record, I absolutely despise cigarettes. To each his own. For me and my family and just... can't do the cigarettes at all, period, point blank. So had I been interested into this particular neighbor, he, would already be disqualified because again, I just don't like, again, if I wanted to be friends, cool, that's fine. But yeah, for somebody that I would like to be in a relationship with, absolutely not. It's a no-go, okay? So anywho, so yeah, I'm jogging around and I have my Beat headphones on, which I still have, which I will show for the record yet again. So I put them on and I'm listening to the music and I hear him say something as I'm going up the stairs to my home, because remember, there's two sides. So I'm on this side or what have you, and he's on that side as well. So I'm going up the stairs and he says something, but you know how you hear something but it doesn't register until like a few seconds later. But whatever he said, he's like, oh, and I'm like that, like, hey, how you doing? I'm thinking, we saying our normal, hey, how you doing? I'm good, bye, hi, whatever. So I go upstairs and then it registered and he said, you're not done working out yet. And I'm like, clearly I am, but anywho, whatever. So I go inside, continue about my business. I will say, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what I'm talking about. There is an exchange of energy that's unspoken, where you do put off like, hey, I do think you cute, and the person look at you like, I think you cute too, but it's nothing being, no words spoken, right? That's what happened, right? And that person knows what happened as well, you know. And again, it's nothing, it's no more than what I'm telling y'all, okay? I promise it's no more. So anywho, at this time, again, yes, I have male visitors, whether that be my friends, you know, platonic or non-platonic friends, my family, maybe a co-worker, an old, you know, family friend or a friend from the, you know, past. Like, I had people visiting my home. It was my home. I paid my own rent with my own hard-earned money. So yes, I have visitors in my home. Who doesn't, right? And again, me not being interested in this neighborhood, they had visitors, but I didn't, you know, it's quiet. Again, it was pandemic, it's quiet. I saw, you know, a few people here and there, but not many. It was like females if I were to see them, but who's to say who they are? I never thought about it, you know what I mean? I never thought like, oh, is that his wife, his auntie, his cousin, his co-worker? I never thought about it because I didn't think about it. For all I care, I mean, it was the people who lived there, you know? So anywho, one day I see the neighbor moving. I'm like, oh, okay, neighbor leaving. Whatever, like my little friend, you know, my little quarantine friend, my little quarantine buddy. And at that time, me being transparent, I would call him my, what did I call him? My quarantine crush or whatever, just, you know, or in my quarantine eye candy, I don't remember. But at the end of the day, it was just like somebody to look at, like, you know, it was going to be, again, a completely unspoken thing. Because if I'm interested, who gonna know I'm interested? Because let's rewind. Remember, I said I'm a player. Like, I know how to play it. You know, if I'm interested, I know how to show you I'm interested. And if I want you, I'm going to get you. Okay? So I peep he leaving. I'm like, oh man, my neighbor leaving. And for the record, well, you already heard that. Like, remember, you know, he said that he knows somebody who sells it. Mind you, again, smelling lovely. It was, oh my goodness. I'm like, I always wanted to know where he got it from or whatever. Sometimes I'm like, let me. So I asked him, I'm like, you know, hey neighbor, you leaving? This is the most spoken thus far. And he was like, I was like, you moving? He was like, yeah. You know, I was like, well, where y'all going? Because I was like, well, where are you going? Because I wanted to know, because at the time I did need to move soon. And I'm like, well, maybe it's a nice place that, you know, he knows about or whatever. So I asked him, he's like, well, I'm going to a home in Dallas. I was like, oh, okay, congrats, whatever. He's like, yeah. And again, that was pretty much it. I'm like, you know, take care, whatever. So fast forward that day, a couple hours later, I had a friend visit. Well, against quarantine, I'm going through a lot. We could talk about that a whole other time, but I'm going through a lot. But they're over there, and I just get irritated. They broke something. My male friend broke something, and I just was ticked off. And at the time, I had just made an L. If you know, you know. And so I'm like, get out. I kick him out. I'm like, get out. You didn't irritated me. Go, get out. I'm just done. I'm done. So he leaves, and I'm just looking like, now I have nobody to share it with, you know. Again, it's quarantine, it's lockdown. Like, so I look out the window, and I'm like, I was like, where neighbor go, whatever, just so I can have something to look at and just, you know, enjoy my L by myself, whatever. So, and because the way my little house, my apartment was, it was so cute. I'm gonna show y'all, but the way it was is that, you know, it was a window where I could just, you know, kind of sit and chill or whatever. And so I look, and I'm like, oh, he, you know, his brothers, well, I didn't know, but at the time, of course, I'm thinking like his brothers here, because they were twins to me, like they looked identical, right? So I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, he's in the car with his twin. I could insert the clip today. Y'all, so how about I'm sitting in the car in my apartments. And if you ain't on Facebook, you don't know about my bae, my quarantine bae or whatever. Y'all, he got a fucking twin. He got a twin. He has a twin. He got a twin. Oh my goodness. I think I'm a twin attractor or something, because this is my second pair of twins that can get it together. I'm just saying. Like, They is cute. And they just out here flying in front of me and whatever. Like, go in the house. Or I come bite one of y'all. Sure. And so I'm looking like, Maya, go ask if they want to match. And I'm like, nah, that'd be kind of weird. You told him that, the neighbor, like, you don't, blow, whatever. And it just would be weird. But I'm like, man, YOLO. So I'm like, okay. So I walk down, and mind you, I had a silk press at the time. I had on my little sundress. It was like perfect weather outside. So I go, I see the car. Now, mind you, it's not the neighbor's car. It's the twin's car. It's twin car. Okay, who does not live there. So I go, y'all, when I say bold, I boldly, I could see him kind of, he rolled down the window. So it's the twin, and then on the passenger side is the neighbor. So he rolled down the window. The twin rolls down the window. He looked, and I was like, I hold up my ear. I'm like, y'all want to match? And the twin looks at the neighbor. It was like his brother, whatever. He's like kind of trying to get approval. And, the neighbor was like, yeah, she's straight or whatever. He's like, okay. So you hear them unlock the car. So I hop in the bag. I sit down, and the first thing I notice is like tools and things. So I'm like, trying to, I'm, again, number one, I'm playing, and two, like, I just know how to start a conversation, how to like break the ice or whatever. So I just broke the ice by saying like, oh, do you do construction? And he was like, well, yes, something like that. I do maintenance. I was like, okay. And I was like, well, my name is Maya or whatever. And then they was like, my name is, we'll say T. Okay, that's going to be the name. T is the neighbor. That's the neighbor. It's T, okay? T. Just T. That's it. Nothing more. So T is like, well, I'm T. And then the twin is like, well, and his name is, I'm his brother. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I forgot what I said, honestly, exactly how the conversation went. But I'm going to get to the point. But I have to point out, at the time, because I'm keeping it 100% honest with y'all. At the time, the driver, which is the twin, not the neighbor, okay? He was on the phone with somebody, right? And I remember thinking, like, I don't know if this is like a Raven senses, like psychic stuff, I don't know. But literally, I was like, whoever he's talking to, he ain't gonna be talking to them no more like that. I'm cutting that short. Like, I remember thinking, and now mind you, I don't know who he was on the phone with. He could have been on the phone with his barber, a zookeeper, his mama. Like, I didn't know. I really did not know. I promise you I didn't. But so that's what I thought. And so whatever, we just chopped it up just a tad bit, and I was just like, hey, because mind you, T, right, the neighbor was like, he knows somebody, right, who has the goods. So I'm like, okay, so yeah, so I'm like, because he asked me when he was at my door first, he asked for the lighter, remember, y'all? So boom, he was like, I was like, can you still hook me up with, the guy that you said be having the good or whatever? Like, because clearly I indulge, right? Clearly, right? So he was like, well, I can't give you the number. And I'm like, okay, so how does this work? Like, do you want to give me your number? Or he was like, well, nah, out of respect for my girl, whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, right, because I did ask him. I was like, just start conversation, because, okay, let's pause and rewind. That is one of the things that I said before I asked about the plug, right? I was like, I asked him, I was like, because I have seen, I've seen pretty much everybody, but I have seen in particular a lady, that I figured lived up there, because I'm like, she can't live straight ahead. I know she doesn't live at the top, because those were like rowdy young people. It was weird. And I think it was only one door up there, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, I knew it wasn't the guy next door. He never had women company. And I know it wasn't the people downstairs or whatever, because I just knew. So, but anywho, I figured they were associated. So, but I did ask. I was like, is that your yes, that's your old lady, whatever? He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't blame you, because at the time she had a nice figure, and I complimented, because I could recognize, where it needs to be recognized, you feel me? So he like laughed about that, and again broke the ice, right? Because you don't expect a woman to just out front say like, yeah, your girl got a nice wagon on her or whatever, right? So whatever. And so, because I could keep it real about mine, that's the thing. So okay, boom, that was that. Fast forward. So I'm like, okay, well, what's the number? He was like, you know, well, I don't feel comfortable giving you mine because of my old lady. I'm like, okay, I respect this. So is there an address, or like, you know, I don't know how it works. He's like, well, because you gotta just pull up. I'm like, oh, okay, well, what's the address, whatever. He was like, well, it don't work like that. I'm like, I mean, you the one who introduced me or said that you have a plug, so I'm kind of trying to get plugged in, you feel me? He not plugging me in, so I'm like, what's really good, right? Eventually he was like, well, I could give you, you know, little bro number. So T is big bro. The driver slash twin is little bro, right? Didn't know. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll take his number. So me and him exchanged numbers, and from that part, like, that's literally the history for us. And here we are, what, going on 4 years later, and a Pandora bracelet later, waiting on the engagement ring, but you know, and a whole baby later. Like, are y'all catching on so far? Okay, cause listen. So boom, so yeah, so like I said, so boom, I'm with the twin, right? Okay, I'm with the twin, and just things just, you know, we liked each other vibes. Yes, he hooked me up with the plug, and we just went on from there. Boom, so yeah, so me and him vibing, y'all. When I tell y'all vibing, like, I don't think at the time we knew we were what each other needed, if that makes sense, but only time obviously told that, you know, that obvious fact. So yeah, so we was just vibing, and you know, I was getting to know him, he was getting to know me. You know, of course I asked about parents and all of that, because you know, nowadays you just have to do that, right? So I'm asking about parents and stuff, and me and my little lovey-dovey stuff, I'm like, oh, my, you know, my parent-in-laws, and you know what I'm saying, because baby, I'm already thinking about like, how are we moving forward in this relationship, you feel me? Even at that time, like, yeah, because I always knew what I wanted. And so and so yeah, so boom, he brings me around, right? And of course I know I'm going to see T, right? T, the neighbor, obviously. So I come around, I can't remember the very first function, to be honest, but nonetheless, you know, me being again me, I'm there, I'm all happy, and you know, I'm nervous, you know, because you know, when you first come around somebody, especially a significant other's family, you already feel like you're going to be judged, or you know, they're gonna talk about you. And the thing is, regardless, they're gonna do that, right? I mean, but it's just the feeling, right? You feel nervous, and you like, do my breath stink? How do I smell? You know, since my hair look good, like ain't nothing in my teeth is, you know, like that's just what you do. So that's just me naturally, like that's just how I was. And I am a shy person. Like, yes, I'm confrontational, yes, I am brave, but I am a shy person. Don't overall, like I'm pretty shy. So yeah, so again, I'm coming around or whatever, and you know, I had no real expectations besides, I guess, what I do for others, or how my family treat others when they come around. You know, if, I mean, my cousins bring around 20 girls in 1 month, and they all get pretty much treated the same. Hey, how you doing? Hey, come in, have a seat. You know, we huggers, we go give you a hug. You know, do you need anything to drink? Stuff like that, right? That's how we operate. Well, this particular situation, for me, I didn't really get that. Like, I did, but I didn't, if that makes sense. Like, it was just, how can I put it? It was, the vibe was, it just wasn't warm like I'm accustomed to. It wasn't, very loving like I'm accustomed to, whether that be me giving it or receiving. That's what I'm accustomed to. Well, that just wasn't what I was getting. It was just kind of dry, kind of like, did y'all hear about her type of thing. And it's like, well, what y'all hear? What did I do? I ain't did that. I don't even know y'all. So, anywho, that happened. So I'm gonna fast forward. Where my tablet? Because anybody saying nothing, but thank God I'm technically talking to myself. I don't really need y'all to talk to me. No, but again, because I should have put a track. Probably changed my thing. Let me invite this duck. Okay, what's up, Rich? Okay, so this is where this okay, y'all. So this is where it all started to come to a head. Cause again, I knew the neighbor first, right? I knew the neighbor first. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing there because, again, if I am interested in a male, a gentleman, he is going to I'm going to find a way to let him know. Like, y'all, I can show y'all my DMs. Like, I'm so player. Like, just for example, okay? I don't know how I seen this guy. It was a guy on Facebook, right? This is before my relationship. It was a guy, I'm talking about handsome to me, like handsome, like chocolate, thick. I love a thick man. Just made me, I love a thick man. It just was just giving off vibes that I liked, okay? Just giving off vibes that I like. I don't feel like I have to go no more into depth about that. It was just giving off vibes that I like. And again, this quarantine, I'm completely quarantined at the time. Baby, I'm finna, how you doing? I slid in the DM or whatever. And I don't even do that, but this is what I did. Because this is a true story. So, he was at the time delivering like Amazon boxes, like meals or whatever. Like Hello Fresh, that's what it was. It was Hello Fresh. That's what he was delivering. So I had a little coupon in the mail for Hello Fresh, right? So I took a picture of the Hello Fresh little coupon thing, and I sent it to the guy, and I was like, hey, if I order from here, like, who gonna deliver this, basically. Forget his reply. But baby, I got took out on a date. You know what I'm saying? I got what I wanted. That's my point. I got what I wanted because I don't play no games. Like, if I'm interested, I'm interested. Either what that man say, if I want you, I want you, and I'm gonna get you. Like, I'm so serious. Like, and it's not bragging, because to be honest, I'm gonna make a video about that. At some point, it's not cute. All right, y'all. So that's just an example of how play I am, y'all. And he even complimented me on it. The guy complimented me. And he was like, I like how you played that. Like, yeah, you like how I did that, don't you? I just love me, y'all. Like, I really love me. Like, for real. So, but no, for real. But going for what you want, though, sometimes can be bad, especially knowing you could get what you want, if that makes sense. Because we may see something and be like, oh, I think, I think that's for me, whether it be a job, a man, a woman, a car, an outfit, whatever, a situation that you think is for you and that you want. But once you get into it, you like, this ain't what I thought it was going to be, right? So, yeah, sometimes it's just not a good thing to do. So, anywho, y'all. Back to the story of how, because let's not lose sight. I just got to give the whole thing, y'all, the whole thing. I slowed this portion down to give more clarity as to why I'm even sharing my experience. Number one, I do have a lot to share, as I've explained several times. And within this situation, I'm trying to go through each point of the things that I've learned, and I will sum it up at the end. However, I have to share what happened to me during my pregnancy. Um, from my living experience, it is an understood rule that you do not mess with pregnant people. You do not stress them out.
You do no harm to them. You do not fight them. You do not taunt them. You don't do anything to them. You feed them, be nice to them, cater to them. That's it. Well, that's the purpose of this. This is the main point. There was other things that had transpired after I had the baby, but I didn't want to focus on that. I wanted to mainly focus on what has me in the space that I am in currently with said family. Of course, none of it should have happened in the beginning or at all. So, with that being said, it's very hurtful. I am still healing from it, and I just hope that somebody can learn from everything that I've learned, and hopefully, you never go through it. And most importantly, never put anybody through this same thing that I've been through. So, yeah, like I said, I just wanted to explain and give clarity as to why I'm sharing this. Um, there's a lot of things that we can learn and we should be learning in life. So I would be an absolute fool not to, number one, gain wisdom from what I've been through, but also not to be a fool if I did not share it. So that is the purpose of this whole story. So again, I hope that people can learn from it and also heal from it as well as I am doing. This is a part of my healing process to just let it out. 2025 is very, very much so near, and I don't want to bring it with me, so I'm going to leave it here on YouTube. I personally won't watch it back. I'm watching it now while I edit and go through it. But yeah, so back to it.
As y'all see, I had my baby. I've been had him. But a lot of people think that, we are supposed to live on social media or live for social media. Baby, I'm not Krishan, okay? Let's be clear, I was Krishan before there was a Krishan. It's just I don't be on social media. And then a lot of this, a lot of that stuff she do is illegal. And same here. I'm not finna, why would I incriminate myself? That just don't make sense. So that's why I did not share. I was going through a lot physically, growing a whole boy like that eats all the time. Like I was super busy. Because I'm gonna get this off my chest. I'm gonna say it, and I'm in a better space to where I don't have to curse these people out throughout the whole thing or talk ill about them by saying, that dirty 304 and that. I don't have to do that. I'm in a better space. So now pretty much was finna get into a whole fight. Like they pretty much was about to jump me or it's not funny. This is a mechanism of anywho, back to the story. Okay. The man that I am with now, I have to be discreet because it's a sensitive topic. These are people that's close to him, unfortunately. Needing to just get it off my chest and just tell the story. And I am open to all feedback, all just everything, just feedback, shoot, criticism, because it's gonna come with it regardless, right? So type away, honey. Anywho, I tried to get the plug from the neighbor, the brother, who said that he knew the plug. So I'm like, I waited for him to move out. So the day he was moving out, I literally stopped. Well, I knocked on my current boyfriend's window at the time. And I'm like, hey, y'all want to, whatever. And they was like, yeah. So we matched and what happened? So and while I'm in the car, I'm asking like, neighbor, what's up with the plug or whatever? And he's like, oh, well, I can't give you the number. And I'm like, what you mean you can't give me the number? You was just trying to give me the number the other day when you was at my door. So give me the number. So he was like, well, it don't work like that. I was like, well, what's the address? He was like, it don't work like that. So I'm like, well, who number can I get to the plug, right? So he's like, well, I was like, do I get yours? He was like, well, I don't feel comfortable because of my girl. I'm like, okay, cool. So how we gonna go about this? Because you said you had the plug. I'm trying to get plugged in, my brother. So whatever, he was like, well, you could take little bro number. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that's where it all started, y'all. That's how we met or whatever. And here it is at, what, again, 4 years later, a baby, a whole bunch of trips, happiness, or whatever. So let's get down to the nitty gritty, y'all. This is where it all kind of went downhill, and little did me or him know. Okay, so this is what year? I'm gonna have to get my tablet. This is 2021, I guess. And I haven't, again, I'm not Christian, y'all. I don't live online. I don't live my life online. Don't want to. Yeah, you get what you get. So we go. Bay, my boyfriend, have family member who has a wedding, right? So of course I'm going. You know, at the time I'm in aesthetic school, my skin is glowing, it's popping, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not the baby girl? She was with her dad at the time. So I'm like, heck yeah, I'm going. So boom, we go on the trip or whatever. We drive to Florida. It wasn't Pensacola, where was it? I forget, but nonetheless, so we go, and you know, obviously his family's there, right? It's a good time. Like, it's beautiful, y'all. I'm trying to scroll on YouTube. Oh, well, here go one picture. Here we go. Hello. Y'all, absolutely gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous out there. How do I do this? Like, oh, we was in Destin, Florida. Like, look at that. It was a gated community. Let me show my YouTube. Like, look at it. It was freaking beautiful. Like, OMG. Y'all see that? So that was, it was a beautiful thing. There go me and babe. Ow. Ow. I just like, so y'all, great time. Like, we out there living it up. Like, you know, they want to, they got married. You know, your girl. I just love me, y'all. Like, I hope y'all in love with yourself. If you're not, I want to help you, for real. I want to help you. But yeah, so this is me. This is on our way there, whatever. And I'm talking about just nice. Like, I'm a scenery girl, so I was taking the scenery. So anyway, a good time. Oh, and then this was this after or before the wedding? Oh no, this is before the wedding. You know, me looking good, feeling good. Look at me. Y'all, it was a good time. It was a really good time. This was just the ladies. This is the bachelorette party. What am I singing? I was feeling myself at this point. What's funny is, because I'm gonna have to get into it, y'all. Like I said, this is when it goes down. What's funny is, when I look back at this, I hear the haters. I see the haters. And you know, me being the person that I am, it low-key almost bring me to tears, because it's like, why hate so much? Like, why do people really got so much hate in their heart? But I know the answer. Hurt people. These people was really hurt at the time. But y'all, I was, so anywho, so yeah, so we at the function or whatever. We in the house. It was like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 couples total. 5 couples total in one house. It was a nice big house. So okay, so we all in the house, right? Again, we vibing. I'm having a great time. Me and my man having a great time. Like, we vibing. Mind you, he around his people, so he ain't feeling no vibes, like no bad feelings or nothing. And me either. Let's be clear, me either. But this is where it all starts to just, so boom. We are in the living room at this time. And so how it is over here to the right is the kitchen area, and then over here to like the back left or whatever is, you know, the couch and stuff, and then in the front, you know, right here in front of you is the TV. So I'm just chilling or whatever. At the time, it was a pregnant lady there, so I'm like sitting next to her, and me and her are like the in-laws that's not really in the mix of with the family, like we don't really know them or whatever. So so yeah, so we just chilling. I'm just chilling. I'm enjoying seeing family and cousins be around each other all happy and stuff, right? So I ain't thinking nothing. I'm just chilling, whatever. Watch your words, Maya. Okay, so the brother, the neighbor, right? Of course, he's there with, his girlfriend. Who how at the time I did not, or no, at the time, yeah, we had kind of got acquainted, right? And I have to go into that, right? Because she plays a big factor in this situation as well, y'all. So I'm chilling. I'm on the couch, sitting down, and again, everybody vibing, they doing their thing. Well, the brother out the blue, he's like getting like loud, and again, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm used to loud people. I'm used to, So he starts to get loud, and again, I'm not thinking nothing of it. But he's yelling, y'all, like, I don't give a fuck who don't like me. I'm hated by, what is it? I'm hated by many, loved by few. I got it tatted on my arm right here. I don't give a fuck who, just like really upset. And like at some point he gets the bang on the table, like boom, boom, boom. I don't give a fuck. Like motherfuckers don't have to like me. This, and that. And I'm like, at this point, I'm kind of like, is he okay? Like, is he fine? He need a hug, or he need to go to bed? Like, what, he need some water? Like, what's wrong, right? Again, everybody, we all drinking, having a great time. And I'm not too much, again, thinking too much of it, but he's like looking at me. And he's like, do you love me or do you hate me? And I'm looking like, I know he's not talking to me. He can't be talking to me. It gotta be somebody else he's talking to, cause I don't love you or hate you, sir. In my mind, is what I'm thinking. I'm like, I don't love you or hate you, but he was like, which one is it? So I was like, neither. I was like, we good. You straight with me? Fine, cool. That's what I like to hear. Now we can keep it moving. And I'm like, y'all, he need a sippy cup. He needs some water. Like, somebody come get this guy, right? Like, again, giving people the benefit of the doubt. He drunk. I mean, I get it. We knew each other first. Maybe you mad because you think I don't know what was going through his head. But anywho, so boom. The day goes on. Now, this whole time, again, we're all in the house together, okay? And this is a big house, so it was times where like I'm coming and he going, so we'll pass each other, and he would say like weird stuff, and I really couldn't make it out because I don't know, like I just couldn't really. I didn't want to convince myself that he's like mad at me, trying to talk to me, trying to fight me. I didn't want to put none of that in my head, so I just kept like blowing it off like he drunk, he blow, like he tripping. I kept blowing it off, right? So at some point during the trip, we all go out to eat, and it's the whole family at this point, and so we in a booth, and I'm sitting across from him and his girlfriend, and then my dude right here, so it's him and his brother, and then me and his girl. And the vibe, y'all, like I'm so glad I've been blessed with discernment, but like the vibe was off. Like it was so strong from both of them, and I didn't know what it was, so it just kind of threw my vibe off. And I'm like, bro, I ain't fooling with this. Like I don't know what it is, but like their vibe was super duper off. And like just like me and my dude, we real cool, we real chill, we real like we don't give a to be honest. We're just that type of people. So they had all went out the night before, but we were tired because we would stay up late the whole night or whatever, drinking and stuff, having fun. But one night everybody had went out, and apparently at the time one of Bay's brother-in-laws paid for everything, right? And so they was telling us or whatever, like it was a group of people next to us too, and they talking about like, yeah, it was fun, it was a meeting for like the ballers, da da da. And the brother's girlfriend make a comment and said something like, well, you know, that's only for the real ballers or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, that's why y'all didn't make it or something to that effect. Like, in me, you playing, but it was the vibe on top of it that I was feeling, because I'm not stupid. I can feel stuff. So I'm like, at that moment, I got up and I walked off. I was like, because I don't know how I'm gonna react if I keep staying right here, but I don't want to react in a bad way. So let me just move around. So that's what I did. So I moved around. So that's what, 2 incidents already, right? Was it another incident while I was there? I wouldn't even say an incident, but at some point, me being me, I'm a confrontational person. I just wanted to wait for the right opportunity to and ask him, like, you know, you okay? You know, not only are you okay, like, is it something you need to say to me, you know, while we by ourselves or what? And I didn't really get a chance to say it because, again, we all having a good time. You know, I don't like to make things about me, because it could have been something he was dealing with on his own, you know. So I didn't want to make it about me, like, what's your issue with me, you know, type of thing. I didn't want to do that because I didn't know. I had no clue. So I don't know, it's just a few little other things that I feel like isn't even worth mentioning because it was so small and just minute. Because if it's I know, like my grandma taught me, if it don't apply, let it fly. And nothing was said to me. Nobody ever came to my face to say, hey, this is this, or nothing like that. So why I'm pay attention to it. So anywho, so boom, that was that. Florida happened. Okay, boom. Oh no, so what I was gonna say, it was a time, it was a real small moment where I was going to address him, but his girlfriend came outside too. We were sitting far apart anyway, but his girlfriend ended up coming in or whatever, and me and her ended up riding somewhere or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna really leave it alone because I don't want nobody else involved. Because me, I'm the type of person, I can confront you or check you or whatever, confront you without an audience. I never need an audience, right? That's just me. I don't need one. So time go on. At this point, like I said, me and the girlfriend have become acquainted, because I told, where my list? One of my things that I wrote down, y'all see that? As I tell the story, I'm going to go through the things that I learned. This whole situation, even though I'm not at the end, it could have been very deadly for real, in so many ways. It has unfortunately been destroyed by family. Not my family, but family has destroyed it. And it shouldn't be like that. But I can also take accountability, and this is one of the things really kind of, I won't say, because I didn't start nothing. If anything, I finished it, but I should listen to my man. He told me not to befriend or associate myself with his brother's girlfriend because, one, she was dingy. 2, he just felt like she was kind of all over the place and didn't really have focus on what she wanted to do. 3, because I mean, just her vibe. He didn't go into detail. He's not the type to, he don't really need to. I mean, I saw everything for what I needed to see it for, if that makes it, like I seen it for what it is. There we go. But yeah, so what did I write down specifically? Listen to your man when he says not to chill with certain people. That's what this says. Especially if they've had a chance to assess that person and that person's true personality, listen to your man. If you care for your man, or excuse me, if your man cares for you, you know that man truly cares for you, you listen to him when he tells you not to hang with people, like, for real. Because I've definitely learned my lesson, like, yes sir, will not. Because I feel like, had I not associated myself with her for whatever reason, and again, me being 100% transparent, it was not only because she's, you know, an in-law as well, but I knew she was like into business stuff. Like, I wanted to be in the mix of somebody who's business oriented, right? And so she was, you know, why not? She right here, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see her at events and stuff like that. Like, why would I not? You know what I'm saying? And she's somebody who's already kind of been into it, so I feel like that would be what was a perfect opportunity for me. It was, because I mean, I did gain you know, a little bit from it, but at the end of the day, that person tried to gain more from me. So I'm gonna get back on track, but I can take accountability for that, because I don't want to sit here and just be like, or make it seem like I'm it's them. No, I can take accountability that I did not listen to my man when he told me not to associate myself with his brother's girlfriend, and I did not listen. But I didn't think, you know, I didn't think it was gonna be anything that major or whatever, right? I found that out, that I was wrong. So that's that. So like I said, at the time we was associated. In another incident, because it was just all, so everything was red flags. I hope I'm not losing y'all, but it was red flag after red flag after red flag. Not for my man, not for my relationship, but for the family, for the brother, for the girlfriend. So another red flag, and this was right around the time that I was mingling myself, or started to just, you know, befriend her, or however you want to put it, mingle myself with her. I don't know how you want to put it, but it was right. Thank you, babe. Well, I might need something else. Just how I put this in. Sweat and stuff. I guess I can do this. That baby woke. So yeah, it was around the same time, like the same day, to be honest. So we were outside in the garage at their parents' house, and so the dad usually has cases of liquor, like, I mean, cases. So one box has guaranteed minimum 4 to 6 bottles, whole full bottles of liquor, right? And it'll be always like 2 to 3 in there. So, you know, they just chopping it up, and the brother was like, well, dang, I should have went to the liquor store or whatever. But then he was like, I thought about it. I was like, well, shoot, I'm finna pull up to daddy's house and just grab a bottle. So he was like, but, you know, I brought it back, you know, once the liquor store opened the next week, I brought it back, whatever. And, you know, me just, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but I just made the comment. I was like, well, shoot. I said, as many as he got, you know what I'm saying? I would have just kept that, you know, daddy, let me get that on GP or whatever. And he just, I'm talking about, his whole face changed. He went from this to, no, that ain't right. That's not what you're supposed to do. I'm gonna bring it back. And it just kind of got aggressive. And I'm like, this is before Florida. Let's be clear. This is before the Florida trip. So I just scratched my head, and I just walked away politely. Went for a little old walk, because I'm gonna get away. I don't know what's your issue. But me, again, giving him the benefit of the doubt, slash giving the benefit of the doubt, I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna, you know, I don't know, just some things I just don't, you know, I just feel like it's not worth like making a big rah-rah about. Like, it just, you know, it wasn't nothing. He didn't do nothing to me. We move on, right? Okay, so that happened. That's when I, like I said, like around that same day or within that same few weeks, that's when I started to, you know, associate myself with the girlfriend. For the sake of names, we will call that one, or her, D. So T and D are dating. You know, T is Bay's brother, and then D is Bay's girlfriend. Okay, her name is D. All right, so